Welcome to Devon Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak. I'm here with inventor of the ABMILL, Michael Domesick. Welcome.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, what led to this? Now, I do a lot of planking, so I know why I need this, but what led you to invent this?
Well, that's great. That was my first question. I wanted to know if you're planking and what you see could be improved about it. But for me, I've always been into fitness, and I actually wrestled in high school. So I knew what it felt like to be fit, to have good muscle tone, and just carry yourself with confidence. Mm-hmm. And when I got in the corporate world, I kind of really got in that sedentary lifestyle. So I don't know if you can relate to that at all, but
no, I don't sit in front of my computer for 16 hours a day. That would be ridiculous, right?
Exactly. Obviously, you're into the healthy lifestyle, which is key. For me, back when I was doing the more sedentary lifestyle, I finally got fed up with it, and I joined a gym. And I started getting in really good shape. I felt more confident. I felt, carrying myself with a good amount of fitness. The one area I wasn't hitting as much was the abs, which for me are really one of the most important facets to fitness, because it's really the center of your whole body. You know what I mean?
Right. If you don't have your abs, your core, nothing else is going to work.
Exactly. So if you've ever been to a gym, there's actually not a lot of equipment focused on doing the abs.
Right.
Exactly. So there's the sit-ups, there's different things like that. While I was at the gym, I actually saw a very avuncular father with his son who got out something called an ab wheel. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these things. It's a wheel with two handles on it. And he was saying, this is the only thing you have to do. It replaces everything else, and it's what you need to do. So I actually ran out and got an ab wheel. And long story short, the ab wheel, the ab wheel can be effective for some people, but it's also can be a little dangerous in terms of overextending, which is my own personal experience. Not everybody's going to have that experience, but I did. So I was rolling out, and I actually rolled out too far on this ab wheel. So I ended up kind of damaging my piriformis muscle. I'm really getting into the details here, but I kind of injured my piriformis muscle, which is in your butt.
Yeah.
And so I was actually in a lot of pain, and I went to several chiropractors on the advice of my brother, who swears by chiropractors. Personally, didn't get a lot of relief with the chiropractic itself, but one chiropractor, I told her my problem, like, how did this happen? Overextending myself, trying to get my abs strong. And she said, well, why don't you just do planks? So that brought me to planks, which gets me caught up to you because you're already doing them, but that got me into planking.
Right. See, I went through a series of medical things in 2011, and just the last couple of years, I've joined the gym and started getting back to core training and getting fit again. When I was younger, I was in martial arts and kickboxing, stuff like this. Have medical things, you can't do that. So I let myself go. So now I'm getting back into where I wanted to be 10 years ago.
Exactly. Getting back. It's all about getting back to where you want to be, wherever works for you. Mm-hmm. So I can totally relate to that. So I started doing planking after having this conversation, and it's got a lot of advantages. That's why it's so popular. It's extremely easy to do. And it's static. The classic plank where you're on your forearms is static. You're not rolling out, so you're not going to hurt your back. You can do it at your own pace. And it's really about engaging your core through isometrics, which is just creating tension in your stomach, in your abs. So I was doing it, and I just found myself not looking forward to getting on the mat to do the planks. I mean, because when you're planking, you're basically on a mat. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't loving it. I wasn't loving the experience of being on the mat.
If you have your elbows or your forearms on the floor, now you're on the floor on this mat, and mats are not usually comfortable. They usually have ridges. If you use a yoga mat, you know, you have those little bumps and it's not comfortable. And then you're actually not completely level either with the full plank. You have to be elevated just a little bit.
Exactly, exactly. So I just started thinking about what can improve this experience for me. And you know, sometimes having the right equipment can be the right inspiration to start doing something that can help you out fitness-wise. It took a lot of thinking, and it sort of just came to me. It just came to me this to get pads that have curves on the side and handles in front of them to give you what I would call balanced support. And when you look at the ABMILL at ABMILL.com, it seems so simple, but it took just an incredible amount of thought on how to put it all together. So have you seen any of the videos or the website?
I was going through it a little bit today because I always refresh myself on what the product is before I talk to the inventor or the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That way, even if I've seen it before this, I want to be caught up on today's stuff.
Right.
So,
well, I just was trying to figure out how to explain it to people, and I actually have it right here a bit. So this is the ABMILL. This is what I put all of my hard work into, and you've got the grips here and the pads here, and
no ridges.
No ridges, and you've got these incredible contours on the pad. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, they come up great. I mean, it's something that if you're planking or if you're into fitness at all and do planks, because really martial arts, karate, anything like that, you have to have a lot of core training, a lot of ab training. And for martial arts itself, you do planking for 10 minutes by itself. That is a core training for martial arts, or at least for the experience that I've had with my instructors, for all my instructors. But it's hard when you're not elevated, and that gives just enough elevation to get the proper toning for your abs.
Well, that's exactly what I think about it. But tell me more about your experience with when you say elevation. So explain that a little more, because I hear exactly what you're saying.
Okay, so with the elevation, if you're down on the floor, I'm not in if I was at the gym doing this, it would be so much easier to explain it. But if you're planking on the ground and you're not up 4 to 6 inches, you're not getting the full ab training that you need. That 4 to 6 inches of elevation actually does a lot of medical stimulus into your abs, because you're actually tightening the abs more just by the elevation. Don't ask me why, because I'm not a doctor.
Okay, well, it's interesting you should say that, because there's really 2 facets to this product. I mean, sure, it makes planking more comfortable. It takes all the stress off your elbows and it relaxes your wrists, and it gives you what I would call balanced support, because when you take your elbows off the mat, you need something. You need forward support in the form of these grips to just keep everything balanced. So it does that. It's super easy to adjust. As I showed here, it's got a center hinge here so if you have a wide shoulders, you can bring it out like this. And if you're more narrow shoulder, you can bring it in wherever comfortable for you. And the pads just pop off depending on, and you can snap them back in depending on how long your arms are. So that's the comfort aspect of it. But then there's the effectiveness, because the comfort in itself is a huge asset, but I feel these also make planks easier to do and more effective. And it has a lot to do with the elevation that you're talking about. I've studied planks and how to get the most out of them. There's a book called Strong Medicine that was recommended to me. And let me just get the authors. It's Chris Hardy and Marty Gallagher. And I don't know them, and I'm nothing to gain by recommending the book, except that when I started reading, I just happened to read about planking in this book. And it's really one of the few sources I saw that help you understand how to plank, because planks are isometric. So you're not moving. And proper planking form requires that you try to generate the tension in your abs. Instead of just sort of hanging out on the mat, you actually want to feel the tension in your abs, because that actually activates your muscles and can actually allow you to spend less time planking, because you'll exhaust your abs quicker. To generate that tension, there's two things you've got to do aside from all the regular planking basics, keeping a line and all of that, which is you're driving your toes into the mat and then pushing your heels away from you. At the same time, you're driving your forearms down into the mat and sort of, without actually moving, pulling your elbows toward your feet. Now that's all, you're not moving, it's just creating tension by these little movements. The couple of inches off the ground that you mentioned is key to be able to generate that driving down force. If you're on a mat, you're driving your forearms into a flat mat. That's completely, it doesn't feel very good, and it doesn't give you any leeway.
It really doesn't. I mean, if you go from, I started martial arts as a child, so I was on a harder floor. We didn't have mats all through the entire dojo, and depending if you're on the mat, it feels a lot better than if you're on the floor. But at the same time, it wasn't doing what we've learned now, because this is years ago, what we learned about planking since then, how to get the abs and the elevation and actually find a comfortable position, because if you're going to stand there for 10 minutes, you're going to get tired.
Exactly. So that's exactly what drew me to the product, which is, before, when I was just planking on a mat, I felt something just sort of out of balance. I had pressure in the wrong places. I didn't have support where I wanted it, and I actually had this kind of clenching feeling in my fingers, because they're just hanging out, they're not doing anything. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the ABMILL Plank Trainer solves all of those problems.
Right. I've actually had instructors go, well, hold 2 bottles of water, 2 water bottles when you're planking. That way your fingers aren't clenching all the way around. I'm like, there has to be a better way here.
Right. So your instructors actually were talking about that clenching feeling. Mm-hmm. Right. So it sounds like you're completely on. You totally get what this product is all about.
I completely get what you're talking about. I mean, I have years experience with different techniques just to stay healthy, because I do actually practice a healthy lifestyle. Or I took 10 years off, but at the same time, I do a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, I noticed that about you. You are into the healthy lifestyle. I did see for example, your review of or your discussion of the electronic scale. You're cooking, and it seems like you are really getting into things that can help you achieve your health goals.
Well, I want to get back to where I wanted to be 10 years ago. Personally, I went through 3 strokes and brain surgery. So wow. I didn't just take 10 years off. I've been getting 10 years to get back to normal. Wow. So me getting back into planking is a core training that has to be done. If I don't do my exercises, I can't move. That's fact. I can't. That's medical. So I have to keep exercising. If I want to be able to do all that I do, living a healthy lifestyle is mandatory.
It's crucial. It's absolutely crucial. It sounds like you're on a health journey to just get to your best self, health-wise, and every other way. So, yeah. I've
been dragging my 18-year-old along with me, because I'm like, you're 18. I don't want you to go through what I went through. She's also autistic. So I do the hikes with her. I take her to the gym when I can. And it's just getting her to get into some form of exercising. We haven't done planking with her yet because of the autism, and it's not clicking yet. But yes, it's a core training. It's something that if your middle is not working, the rest of you is not going to work either.
Exactly. It's really the key. It's the key thing. And it's the one thing, as I mentioned, when I was at the gym, there's nothing out there in terms of gym equipment that really can help you. So when you've got that piece of equipment, that right piece of equipment that can inspire you, I think it makes a huge difference.
It does, because if you think gym equipment today, we have the crunches, which are weights now. You can do it with weights. You have the rowing, and you have a twisty thingy. Other than that, you really don't have gym equipment just for your middle.
Right. Because it's hard to get right.
Yeah, it really is. So
Yeah.
you have to do the basics for your middle. You have to do your sit-ups. You have to do your planking. And there's different techniques with planking just to get that core to work right.
Exactly. Exactly. So you mentioned different planking on my website, ABMILL.com. I've had different people using the product aside from myself to just show you all the things you can do with it. And you can do all kinds of planks with this product. Push-up planks, one-arm planks, one-leg planks, and the classic planks, and pretty much any plank you can think of. I feel feels a lot better with this product.
And as any type of planking you're doing, if you have the elevation, you actually are tensing muscles that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
It's a no-brainer, really.
Totally, it's a no-brainer. Exactly right.
I've seen people at the gym use the steps, the little step up that they use for like what is that? Biggest Loser, where they're doing the steps up and down, using that plank because they don't have anything else to get the elevation. And what's on those steps but like graded paper. So it's not comfortable and they're using it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, just showing you here as best I can. Your arm goes here, your hand goes here. And so the entire between your wrist and your elbow is completely free of pressure. And it's got that leeway where you can use to generate the isometric force in your abs, which you totally feel this a lot more with this product than just without the product and just doing it on a flat mat and trying to get the same effect.
It's going to take you longer on a flat mat. It's going to take you frustration because you're not comfortable. And if you don't have the comfort level, you're not going to stick with it. I mean, I'm guilty. If something is not comfortable for me, I'm not going to stay doing it.
Exactly.
So, and that's 98% of people that work out. If there's an exercise that's not comfortable, they're going to say, forget it. I'm going to try do something else.
Exactly. And as I said, when you've got that the right piece of equipment, it just gives you that extra little inspiration to do.
It does. And you have to for exercising, you have to be self-motivated. After you're self-motivated, you have to be comfortable doing the exercises yourself. So if you can take those two elements and put it into a piece of equipment to make it easier and self-motivating, because now you have comfort and you're getting the results that you're wanting, it all comes together.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yes, I do a lot of fitness. This is what I do. I mean, last 2 years, really, I've doubled down on my fitness. And it's instrumental in me being able to be here today. If it wasn't for fitness, I probably would not be able to do the videos.
Once you feel good, you can pretty much do anything. But if you don't have your health and you're not feeling good, it just makes everything more difficult.
Yeah, and you have to have the right equipment to get you to your goals.
Well, I feel that's true. To take an example, I don't know if you've heard of these equipment called push-up bars. These little push-up things, they allow you to actually elevate a little bit off the ground for push-ups.
I've seen them, but I haven't gone into researching too much.
Right. I don't know much about them. Some people use them, some people don't. I'm just drawing the comparison with the ABMILL Plank Trainer, my product. It's it's a device for an exercise that you could do by your hands, but just without any equipment whatsoever. And some people are okay with that, but other people seek out something to make the exercise better for them. I feel I'm not an advocate of push-up bars or not, but I'm saying I feel the plank trainer is actually doing a whole lot of good for you in terms of a piece of equipment that you can use. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's comfortable. I don't like being on a yoga mat doing planks. It's just not me. And hard mats, because what are gym mats? But they're hard, but they're foamy, right? So they're not exactly what you need, but that gives me the elevation and has a comfort level that you don't get just on the floor.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now, other than your website, are you also on YouTube?
Yes, I have a YouTube channel. And by the way, all the social media is accessible. If you go to ABMILL.com, should I spell it out or are we?
Actually, if you were watching the video, it's above our heads. And if you're listening to this on, say, Spotify, it's in the comment section. Okay,
perfect. So on the website, if you scroll all the way down, there's the YouTube channel, Instagram, etc. But the YouTube channel does have videos on it. It has exercise workout programs and other fun things that we've done, and they're constantly adding to. So we do have a YouTube channel. We've got the website. Of course, we are on Amazon. So we are just getting the word out. When people use it, a lot of people love it. Just to take an example, I was just reading some reviews where someone said, we have it, we love it, we have it in the family room and we use it to plank every day, the whole family, which totally makes sense. When you've got a piece of equipment and you just put it somewhere that the whole family sees, it's always there that you can just hop on it and get in a nice ab workout whenever you want. It's
Right.
Just there to inspire you. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, if you have something this simple, you do planking while watching TV. You don't have to look at the floor. You can watch TV and plank at the same time.
Absolutely, you can do that.
So it's not just, it's killing two birds with that one stone. You're getting your TV time instead of being on the couch. You're actually doing something good for your body.
Exactly. It sounds like is that kind of your routine? How do you get in your planking routine?
I do it at the gym. I don't watch TV.
Okay.
Like if I'm watching TV, it's because my daughter goes, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, we have to watch this." So
interesting. Sure.
That's my TV. I don't do a lot of TV. I do a lot of music, but I don't do a lot of TV.
I'm the same way. I do music when I'm working out, but not so much the TV. For me, it distracts when I'm trying to focus, but for other people, it might be something that actually works.
Now, if I'm doing like a stationary bicycle, then I'll sit back and just watch TV while I'm doing it. If the gym has something on there that's worth watching, I'm not going to watch to do an exercise because But if there's something on that might be of interest to me, the History Channel or something like this, then I'll do that while doing stationary bikes, but it's just to relax. I don't see a bike as something exercising. I have to do 20 miles an hour. It's something I'm just cooling off with.
Nice, nice.
But we are almost out of time, so thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And for everyone out there, have an awesome exercising and healthcare journey. Thank you.